Have you ever stood in a room while the big game is on, where billions of people are experiencing a dopamine tsunami because a ball rolled over a white line and felt absolutely nothing? It's a specific kind of hollowness. It feels like standing outside a glass wall, watching the human race descend into a collective hallucination that you simply cannot access. If your first instinct is to ask, "Am I too cold?" Stop. Neuroscience and economics reveal a brutal truth. This isn't a character defect, it is an evolutionary advantage. Your brain isn't broken, it is simply refusing to be hijacked. Today, we're using data from Noam Chomsky to Wall Street to uncover the secret nobody wants to say out loud. Sports isn't just a game, it is the opiate designed specifically for the middle class. Let's look at the economics. If you map sports obsession against net worth, you don't get a straight line. You get an inverse U-curve. At the bottom of the economic ladder, obsession is low. When you are fighting for survival, you don't have the bandwidth to care about a franchise. Life itself is the contact sport. At the very top, the true elite, obsession drops off again. The people who actually write the rules of this world are rarely found painting their faces in the stands. To a billionaire owner, a team isn't a religion, it's a portfolio asset. Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos aren't watching the game, they are too busy playing the real one. The peak of the hysteria sits squarely in the middle class. These are people with enough leisure time to consume, but not enough power to truly influence their reality. For this demographic, sports offers a simulation of conquest. It provides a weekly dose of victory to those who feel stagnant in their own careers. But this isn't just about economics, it's about control. Noam Chomsky famously warned that sports functions as a training ground for irrational jingoism. Think about the mechanism. You're trained to worship a group of people you don't know, to hate the other team based on an arbitrary color, and to submit to authority without question. It is a tool for depoliticization. Chomsky pointed out a fascinating paradox. The average sports fan is incredibly intelligent. They can memorize complex statistics, analyze defensive formations, and debate historical data with academic precision. The system doesn't want to suppress that intelligence, it wants to misdirect it. It encourages you to use your cognitive power to analyze a quarterback's pass rating, so you don't use that same cognitive power to analyze why your wages have stagnated for 10 years. It keeps the smart people arguing about the game, so they don't start arguing about the rules of the society they live in.
But to truly understand why you're immune, we have to go straight to your hardware. The mechanism that keeps the stadium full is called mirror neurons. When a fan watches a striker score a goal or a quarterback throw a perfect spiral, their brain lights up in the exact same regions as if they were the ones running on the field. It is a biological hack. Your brain cannot distinguish between doing a thing and watching a thing. This was proven in a landmark study during the 2008 US election. Researchers found that when men watched their candidate win, their testosterone spiked, physiologically identical to the hormonal rush of winning a physical fight. When their candidate lost, their testosterone plummeted. For the brain, the victory on the screen feels real. It delivers a hit of vicarious dopamine. Now, look at yourself. You watch the same screen, but you feel nothing. No spike, no drop, just noise. Society calls this a lack of passion, but psychology calls it a difference in identification patterns. Your mirror neurons aren't broken, they're just selective. You don't subconsciously identify with a stranger just because he is wearing a jersey with your city's name on it. That signal is too weak for you. Your brain demands a higher threshold. You connect with competence, not tribal colors. And this leads to the concept of cognitive real estate. Think of your brain as a limited plot of incredibly expensive land. To be a real fan requires massive construction on that land. You need to build a museum of statistics, a library of player histories, and a theater for emotional investment. Most people happily build that stadium in their minds, but you subconsciously looked at the blueprint and said, too expensive. You realize that if you fill your cognitive real estate with their stats, you have no room left to build your skills. If you are obsessing over the trade deadline, you aren't obsessing over your business, your craft, or your own life. This is the fundamental split. The fan runs on an external battery, chasing borrowed glory from a team they don't own. But you are a self-generator. Your dopamine circuits are wired for high self-determination. You don't get high on we won, you only get high on I built. Now, a warning. Do not mistake this understanding for arrogance. There is a trap called cultivated disinterest. Some people pretend not to care about sports just to signal that they're above the masses. That is just another form of performance. That is still letting the game control you. The goal here isn't to look down on the fans. The goal is to honestly assess your own return on investment. Ultimately, it comes down to a single question about your dopamine. Is it consumed or is it earned? When you spend 3 hours screaming at a screen, you are renting a narrative. You're waiting to see how someone else's story ends. But when you turn that screen off, you are forced to face the silence of your own narrative. For many, that silence is terrifying. That is why they turn the TV back on. But for you, that silence you feel during the game, that hollowness we talked about at the start, it isn't emptiness. It is the hum of a different engine. It is the sound of a mind that is idling, waiting to be put into gear to build something real. You have saved your cognitive real estate. You have protected your dopamine pathways. Now, the question is, what are you going to do with them? The world is full of spectators. The stadium is already at capacity. But the arena of reality, the place where you build, create, and solve, that is wide open. So make the choice. Do you want to watch the championship, or do you want to build the empire?